I love you. Ooh, yeah. Israel, I love you like I love myself. Israel.
Hello, welcome back to Lampo Stock, and today we're going to be talking about magic. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I'd seen a young man and he had made a statement, and he had said that Moses was like this super powerful wizard. And when he made that statement, my mind immediately went to the movie Lord of the Rings, when you're looking at Gandalf and he's standing there with this huge staff talking about ye shall not pass. And I just thought that was so funny. Now today, being that I'm changing my life, I would never watch the movie Lord of the Rings because it's filled with so-called magic, and I don't watch anything that is filled with magic. So most Disney is just completely out. Disney films, all they do is every film has magic in it. And then of course Harry Potter.
Okay, wait a minute. Before we start going through examples of what we don't do,
okay,
can we talk about what magic is?
Oh yeah. Okay, so anyway, so he was saying that Moses was this wizard, and well, he's kind of right, but he's completely wrong. Magic, if we look up the word and we use the world's definition, it has the power of apparently influencing the course of events by using mysterious or supernatural forces. As an adjective, it's used in magic or working by magic, having or apparently having supernatural powers, and then the informal is wonderful and exciting. So if you use that definition, then you could say, okay, Moses was a wizard. But if you go and you look at the definition from the biblical standpoint, and I'm getting this from Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary. Well, there's a whole lot here, so I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to break it down. What it says is basically, if magic is calling on or summoning lesser gods or demons or powers, and that is what magic is. So if I get something, a power from the Most High, it is not considered magic. It's considered a blessing or a gift. If I am calling on something other than the Most High, then the powers and the gifts that I receive from them are considered to be magic.
And I want to make that very clear. The importance about the effect is irrelevant. You know, turning water into wine. All right, turning water into wine. The act itself, turning water into wine, that is a blessing because it was done by the Most High. If Bob did it, it would be magic. If he did it by any other means, if it's done by any other means other than a blessing or a miracle by the Most High, it's considered to be magic.
So when you look at Harry Potter, they say some words with the wand and stuff happens. Well, that's not magic. That's lying. That is not how magic works. Magic works by, I have dedicated myself to this particular demon or lesser power, and they have granted me the use of some of their abilities, or they will use their abilities to do something for me. So is magic a real thing? Yes, it is. It works. Tons of people practice magic, and you can see results. They see results from the magic that they're practicing.
Now remember, and this is the thing that this is how we look at it, and this is kind of as I can tell, this is how the Bible looks at it. You know, it looks at it based on not just the result. It is based on where the power comes from, where the thing comes from.
So in today's world, they want to come up with lies and tell you there's black magic and there's white magic. and black magic is bad and white magic is good. Well, that's not true. All magic is bad. And it doesn't matter if you are using that magic to heal somebody or if you're using that magic to kill somebody. If you are getting power from something other than the Most High, it is evil. And the Bible says that you should not suffer a witch to live. So,
now that is Exodus 22. That is Exodus 22. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So the thought is the thought is someone who does that, who calls on powers other than the Most High for whatever, they got to go.
So if we look in the Bible, and we will, I'm going to compare two people. You have Samson, who had what would be considered supernatural powers. And if you look at the Greeks and their religion, they had Hercules, who had supernatural powers. Now, Samson got his supernatural powers from the Most High. So that was not magic, that was a blessing given to him. Whereas Hercules got his supernatural powers from a fallen angel and that, or some lesser god. So he was a magical being and they should have killed him. So
yeah. So if you think about this, were they both really strong? Absolutely. It's not the effect, it's where it comes from. That's the point that we're trying to make here. It's not the effect that makes it magical. It is where it comes from. Samson put his faith in the Most High, and he was granted special abilities. Hercules put his faith in the Greek gods or whatever it is, and he was granted magical abilities.
Well, actually, he was part demon. He was a Nephilim, so he was just evil.
We need to have that discussion at some point where we talk about what that is. But
okay, so if we go back to the Bible and we look at Moses, because I like Moses, you have him who takes his staff and it turns into a snake. That was a power that the Most High gave him through his staff, and it turned into a snake. And then you have Pharaoh getting his magicians to do the same thing. So his magicians are praying to some lesser powers, beings, gods, whatever, and they're able to replicate what Moses did with his staff. But then you see that God takes Moses' snake and eats the snake of the other, showing that the Most High's power is greater than any power of some other fake god. So, or lesser demon.
Whatever
I don't like to say fake god because that kind of says that, well, they're not real. And they are real. Those lesser gods are out there. I don't care about them because my God is greater. So, but they're there, and people call upon them, and they grab their powers to do evil stuff. And
but the point is, because, and a lot of people confuse the act with where it comes from. That's why I keep coming back to this point. Moses had a staff; it turned into a snake. So that makes him a magician? No, it doesn't. What makes him not a magician is that staff was given to him by the Most High, and its abilities come from the Most High. It's a matter of faith. It is not a matter of magic.
Yes. So this is a big issue because a lot of people will stray away from asking the Most High for his power, or trying to use the power that the Most High grants us, because they look at it as magic, because we have been taught that anything that is beyond what we could regularly do is magic. And what that does is it keeps us away from some of the blessings and the gifts that the Most High would give us, because we're scared to deal with that. Whereas the people who are worshiping all of these other demons or whatever, they have full access to those powers.
And that's what's funny to me. We all understand faith healing as a concept. We understand it as a concept. The Most High heals, so someone is sick, we pray for that person and they get better. But for some reason, people are like, well, that's like magic. No, it's not. The very specific difference is where that power comes from. I pray for someone, they get better. It is not the effect of them getting better. It is I prayed for someone. That's the point. I put my faith in the Most High that this person will get better, or that this person will, things will change in this person's life.
This is also why you have to be careful about letting someone pray for you, because if they say that their God is God, well, which God is that?
Yeah, that's that.
So you could have somebody praying over you and they're praying to a God that's not yours, and instead of receiving a blessing, you are going to receive a curse. So you have to be very sure about who it is that you allow to pray for you or pray with you, and make sure that you are all worshiping the same God.
Absolutely. So, so when we're talking about magic, I always kind of get tongue-tied, but we talk about magic in multiple ways. One, we do talk about people who are just practicing calling straight up on demons to get things done. We talk about that. We think about it, I guess is the way to say it. But we also talk about, and this one kind of seems a little strange, we talk about medicines as magic or sorcery, because if you can't explain how it works, how does it do what it does? And is that from the Most High? Is that from just man? What is it? There's a verse in the Bible where it talks about you go to a physician and you should pray together, and then he should work on healing you.
Well, there's also another definition from the Bible that talks about how magic is being connected with pharmaceuticals or drugs. So magic stems across a lot of different realms and barriers, and it all depends on where that power or that knowledge is coming from. If you go back to the beginning, the Most High gave us every herb. Well, Satan taught people how to deal with roots and stuff. So it's all about who you're worshiping and where you're going to get whatever it is that you're using.
Absolutely. So now, remember, we're not doctors. Okay, we're not doctors. I'm not trying to tell you I'm not trying to tell you what you should do or what you shouldn't do in any given particular situation. But what we are trying to say to you, or at least, the point we're trying to get across is the Most High heals. The Most High has all types of power. So we put our faith in the Most High first before we do anything else. Before we do anything else, put your faith in the Most High so that He can work through you to deal with whatever your situation is.
So when you look at magic, it includes necromancy, exorcisms, dreams, shaking arrows, inspecting entrails of animals, divination, sorcery, astrology, soothsaying, divining rods. Repetition is also considered to be a form of magic. So what is it? It's called vain repetition. From
you're getting this
Matthew.
You're reading this from the Bible dictionary.
Yes.
So the thing is, I guess one of the things I'm trying to say is, well, I guess I want to put it like this: the Most High should be your power source for anything. That's where you put your faith. That's what is moving through your life. That should be the focus. If your focus is not there, if it is somewhere else, then that is borderlining into the magical realm, because you're no longer putting your faith in the Most High. You're putting your faith in whatever it happens to be. You can see this all the time in like TV shows where you have doctors that just belittle the Most High and then say, put your faith in this pill. Or they'll say, or whatever it may happen to be, oh, no, God couldn't have anything to do with it. It has to be man. It has to be something that man did, or it has to be, a pill or a drug or whatever it may happen to be. That's what's making you better. It's not your faith. It's not your belief. It's this thing. And if you put your faith in that thing, then you're now, like I said, borderline dealing with magic.
No, it's not borderline. It is dealing with magic.
Well, I understand what you're saying.
Even with, in the Bible, you see where they wouldn't eat certain food, and it tells you not to eat certain food because they blessed it to some other god, or they prayed over it to some other god, and that's magic. Anything you do giving honor or glory to some other god and using that power is magic. So you have to be careful about what you do and not think that magic is
Harry Potter.
Yeah. Harry Potter or Disney.
Yeah. Now on the same course. Okay, now that we've talked a little bit about magic, we'll give you some examples of things that we don't do to not deal with magic. As she was saying earlier, we are very careful about the movies and television shows that we watch, because if it deals explicitly with magic, we avoid it. We avoid it. So that takes a lot of Disney off the table. Harry Potter off the table.
And now, I still think about it, like, because it's easy to say I'm not gonna watch Shrek anymore, even though it used to be one of my favorite cartoons, because that's all about magic and magical beings. So I'm not gonna watch that anymore. But I might watch a crime show, and in that crime show there's always somebody who is a Satanist, or
there'll be some episode where something's going on. So what we do is, as soon as it starts coming up, we get out. We just leave that.
Yeah, we skip to the next episode.
Yeah, we'll just skip on by and go on past it. Now, there isn't. Now, it doesn't say when I'm reading through the Bible, it doesn't say, "Thou shalt not watch TV shows that have magic in it," and that's not the point. Our point is trying to adhere to the idea that I don't want to deal with magic. I don't want to mess with it.
It does tell you that you're
it.
not supposed to be getting joy and pleasure from people doing evil stuff.
Yeah.
That's why we try to the best of our ability to avoid and it's hard for us to watch TV shows because we try so hard to avoid everything, and we're not perfect at it, because we still, at least I'm going to say I still
oh no, we can say this time
watch
we can say
some things that I think maybe I probably shouldn't be watching.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to just completely say, okay, I'm not going to watch TV anymore. And there is no show that doesn't deal with a lot of these things. I know I went back to TV shows from like the 1960s.
Oh no. We busted out some Andy Griffith because hey, listen. It's Andy Griffith. It's in black and white. Come on, what magic can be in Andy Griffith?
Oh man, they brought in tarot cards and voodoo, and so it's very difficult to live in this world and just completely avoid all of the wickedness that is going on. But it's your job to try to limit yourself. It's also why I listen to a lot of gospel music, because I believe that what you take in is what's going to come out. So if you spend all of your time only seeing evil, then evil is what's going to be in your heart. So I listen to a lot of Hebrew gospel music just to keep that good in my heart. You know, I wake up singing a Hebrew music song. You know, that's the first thing that's in my head, and I keep one in my heart all day.
Yeah, now see, that's something. Now, I do not wake up with Hebrew Israelite songs in my head. I don't. I mean, I don't. And, you know, I have to go over and turn something on and listen to it. But now, this is the other thing. Wherever you are in your walk with the Most High, wherever you are, the point of these videos, and I keep trying to bring this up, is to make you at least start thinking about it. You know, what show, song, whatever are you listening to, and how does it affect you? Like, we're watching some TV show, and in that show something happens that you know, like the Andy Griffith one we were watching earlier. The episode is about tarot cards, right? So after, you know, here
And
we
ghosts.
are. Yeah, tarot cards and ghosts. So we're watching part of this show, and we end up stopping and having a conversation where we're talking about, what is this show saying? What's going on in it? And that's something that we do on a regular basis with a lot of the shows that we're watching. Whatever it may happen to be, it could be magic or whatever it is. We ask ourselves, hey, what did we watch? What does it say? What is going on in this? How is this show trying to influence what I believe? Because that, to me, is more important than anything else. If you are, whatever you're watching, if you're at least you're conscious about it, this is what it is, this is what's going on with it, it's got a lot. You can avoid a lot of the effects that some of these shows are trying to do to you.
Well, these shows are, you know, in a sense, the people who make these shows and this music that's out there today are practicing magic. They pray over these shows, hoping to lead you astray. They pray over these songs, hoping to lead you astray. And if you're not, you know, that's why the Bible talks about having on your full armor. If you're not paying attention, then you're going to follow the path that takes you somewhere else, because that they are doing their job. We have to wake up and start doing ours.
Yeah, so make sure you're watching what your kids are watching. You need to know what they're watching and how it influences them, because the reason we avoid Disney is because they are literally trying to make little baby magicians every
And you
day.
need to make sure that your kids understand so that they are watching for themselves. I have my kids come and tell on other kids all the time.
Yeah, that's right. You can't really be in their hip pocket, but if you explain it to them, why, like our kids used to be really big Potter fans. I know we started our oldest on Potter back in the day because we didn't know any better.
Yeah.
We were reading it to them, you know, and she was literally growing up with Potter. And then once we came into the faith, we realized, wait, this doesn't really portray in any way, shape, or form a life that we're trying to lead. So we had to walk away from it. But it had been a huge part, you know, it had been a part of their lives. So we had to explain to them what the change was, why we're not doing it any longer. And now, you know, our kids actively, and they're not perfect, but they actively avoid by telling on each other and trying to correct each other by saying, you know, hey, that's got magic in it. This is not something we need to be looking at. This is not where we need to be at.
That's why the Bible tells you to teach your children the way they should go, and then they won't soon depart from it. So, you know, as we are learning and growing, we are teaching our children what we have learned and why we have learned it, instead of just saying, well, do what I say. We are trying to explain to them why it is that we're doing this, because it's not you know, as a Christian, it is the parents can do stuff and the kids can't. Well, in our house, if our kids can't do it, we can't either. So
yeah, that's and it works a lot better. It really does work a lot better that way. So just as a quick recap here, magic has to do with where the power comes from, not just the effect. It's where it comes from is what makes it into magic or not into magic. That's important.
And as a follower of the Most High, it's your job to find out. It's even with food. There is some food that tells you that these people prayed over it or whatever. We don't eat food that has their marks and stuff on it where they have prayed over this food, because they are not praying to my God. So
yeah, see, we keep we do Passover. And that's where you'll see it the most. We do Passover, and you go to the grocery store, and there's a whole aisle
of kosher stuff.
But if you read what kosher says, some of that stuff says there was a rabbi there, and they prayed over it, and blah blah blah. Well, I'm sorry, that's not for me.
I'm not Jewish, and
Right.
they don't worship my God, so I'm not eating their stuff.
Right. Sometimes that just means you got to make it yourself. But in any event. The thing is, as we always say, it's all about the discussion. It's all about, in your life, are you being aware of magic and how it could affect you and how you are dealing with it?
And are you doing your due diligence to seek the Most High? Because if you're doing that, then these are things that are going to be coming up in your walk in order to get you to become more perfect.
Yeah. So what do you think about it? Let us know in the comments. We love having discussions with you guys. Thank you for everybody who's written comments. We try to answer them back.
If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give us a thumbs down. But please give us one of them.
so we know what you're thinking about it. If you like the content that we're doing, let us know. You can find us on YouTube, also on Black Junction, and over on Media Cafe.
I think it's Meta Cafe, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Meta, Media, whatever it is. One of those spots is where you can find our videos. Thank you so very much for taking some time out with us, and have a great day.
Bye.